Let me ask you something. Have you ever heard a song so good, so beautiful, so majestic that it gave you a scene in your head? It gave you a scene to play out in your head. And you're like, yeah, I can see something playing out with this. Yeah, I wish I could animate or make a movie and then, have the scene right up and it's like a cool edit. And there's like, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you don't. I'm not gonna keep this bit going. The point is, we just finished midterms and I'm so sorry. I'm so tired, so I don't look. What? It's not your business. What do you care? I am tired. We just finished midterms and we had a project where we had to animate a brand or whatever, make an advertisement. And I was like, well, what if I did like a song, like an advertisement on a new album that came out? And I was like, wait a minute, I know a song, I know an album. SLEEPTOKEN. I love this band so freaking much. How do I? Give me a minute. Give me a minute. So. I love this band. Okay, so step one, gotta have a storyboard, duh. So I did 3 different storyboards. We had to have 3 different ideas. So the first one was SLEEPTOKEN, and then the other 2, I did Madison Beer for her Locket album. And then I also did just like FNAF. It's not an album, obviously, but like I figured I could do a game, so I have a bit more of a variety for the professor to choose from. But we ended up going with the SLEEPTOKEN one, which I'm very happy with. And then for the song choice, I did Infinite Baths. I love that song, so we did that one, and then you'll see what I came up with here in a minute. Okay, so for this project, luckily we did not have to do frame-by-frame animation because I love frame-by-frame animation, but I personally can't do it. We had a project in my other class where I thought it was really bad, but my professor liked it, so I mean, sure, whatever. I will never be posting that process on this channel because I hated it. I don't know. But moving on. So I got to do all of my assets in Clip Studio, where basically I just had everything on a separate layer, and then I imported it into After Effects, and then, from there I started animating by using the puppet tool or like the position keyframes, and I'm talking about this process because I can't show it to you. I really wish I could have. I tried to record it, the actual animation process, but unfortunately this computer, it's like only a year old, but I do one thing on it and it blows up in my face. I swear. I mean, my lap was on fire this entire time I was working on this because my computer was like on my lap and was burning. It was so hot. I was able to get the time lapse in through the Clip Studio time lapse tool or whatever, but as far as After Effects go, I would have to actually screen record it by using a different software app, whatever, and that just did not go over well. So I'm so sorry I don't have the actual process of the animation, but I do have the time lapse for this. So back to the actual time lapse. You'll see his body is kind of, it's a little botched, it's botched, but it was on purpose just because like I'm not gonna waste my time trying to get the anatomy right and the proportions because I knew I was gonna have the cape go over it so you wouldn't even see it anyway. And I had a lot of other plans for this project, but I didn't get to do everything because you have to be very careful with your time management. So like I said, with the whole anatomy thing, I don't need to waste my time worrying about anatomy if we're not even going to see it because I believe we had like a week and a half to work on this project, but we had, for me, I had 2 other classes, so I had a gajillion other assignments to worry about. So it was a lot. I wish I had more time on this, but I'm still pretty happy with how it turned out. So anyway, for the feathers you see on his back, I had everything very organized where it was like, I think the shadows were on one layer and then like the highlights were on one layer and everything was all organized and separated as they should be normally. I wish I could be the type of artist that had everything constantly organized all the time, but I don't know what it is. I work on one layer. I don't know when I started doing that, but that's just how I draw. It's how I draw. So anyway, you'll see me messing with the colors and the lighting and all of that. And I wanted to have I wanted to be realistic to the actual concert in real life, and the stage lights and all that. Obviously, I upplayed it a little bit with the saturation, so it's not completely realistic. I wanted the colors to be fairly accurate to the actual concert because I love, love, love. I don't know whose job it is to make sure that the colors and the stage lighting and all that looks good, but they did good, so I wanted it to look like that. Not all of the, I guess, sequences or whatever in the animation are completely realistic because, like, in a little bit you'll see I have one of the shots is a vessel screaming directly into the mic, and it's like very intense and whatever, so the saturation is very high and it's all red and it's whatever. So I had a lot of fun playing around with the different styles of colors because normally for me I would try to get it to be as realistic as possible, but I'm trying to pull away from that because I feel like I've been limiting myself in my style, so I'm trying to play a lot more with like the colors and the style of the animation. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. You'll see me here. I don't know why I struggled so much with the spotlight in this one area. It looks pretty quick, like I figured it out immediately in the time lapse, but I mean, I was like sitting there staring at my screen trying to figure out what I wanted it to look like. So I was like, don't want it to be accurate to the actual stage, like, because if you've gone to a SLEEPTOKEN live concert, one, I'm jealous of you, but two, you'll notice that obviously doesn't look exactly like this. They have a whole stage design in the background. There's like rocks and this like the logos in the background and like the drummers in this little like cubby up above and whatever. I'll insert a photo so you know what I mean. But again, the time management, I did not have time for all that. So I was like, well, I'll just simplify it. I'll have it be I'll do it my way or the highway. It's my way. So not completely accurate, but it works for the animation. It works for the animation. I don't think anybody is going to be like, I don't know. Hopefully none of you are mad about that. If you are, I'm sorry. But anyway, so I'm just kind of like messing with the crowd here. And I originally was going to have each person in the crowd kind of like moving individually. So it looks very realistic and whatever. But again, didn't have time for that. So I combined all the layers and I was like, I'll just have, I believe I had the hand, like the heart hands on one layer, and then the entire crowd is on one layer, and then the background, and then all the band members were also on one layer. And so I had my foreground, my middle ground, and my background, and that's all I need. I don't need all the bells and whistles. Not everything needs to be individually moving on their own. If I had time for that, then sure, I probably would have done it, but I didn't, so. I start out very ambitious with Vessel because I was like, oh, I'm gonna have have him like playing the guitar, and I did end up doing that. I believe his hands were on a different layer from his arms and whatever, so I could move it around and make it look like he was actually playing the guitar. And then I believe, oh my gosh, because I was pulling an all-nighter, it was probably like 4 a.m. at this time, so I quickly realized that I didn't have the energy to do all of that for all the band members, and so the other few are just kind of like standing there. But I work my way around it. I figure it out so they don't look too boring, but they couldn't all individually be playing their instruments and have it look super cool and da-da-da-da. You'll see what I did. But I believe we had, oh gosh, because this was due at 11 a.m. for my class, and the night before I was playing my all-nighter, I did not start animating until I believe like 5-ish in the morning or something like that, just because I spent so long doing all the individual assets. But I knew the animation wouldn't take me too long, so I mean, I was like, it was fine. But the point is, I was very, very tired and all over the place. So speaking of being all over the place, you'll see here, this is the last time lapse I had actually recorded because towards the end I was so tired, and I admit I may have forgotten to record the time lapse for the last little bit, but I mean, it's just like 1 or 2 layers or frames or whatever. But anyways, so for the actual animation process, oh gosh, for After Effects, basically, if you know how After Effects works, I had everything on a separate layer, and then I didn't really do much except kind of play around with the position keyframes and all that, where basically you can like click on a layer and then you can move it around like with your mouse, and then it'll move around like a little puppet tool. It's kind of fun. I wish I could tell you, I wish I could show you what I was talking about because it doesn't make any sense when I'm just explaining it. I have to actually show it to you, but again, I did not have that luxury, so. This was the shot I was talking about earlier with the saturated reds. I wanted it to feel very independent from the rest of the animation, so it has its own unique moment. And then I also have the background of the, well, I guess it's the cover of the album, but I wanted to have that as well. You'll see I use it as a transition tool. And then I also wanted to show you guys a quick look. You know, I couldn't, of course, like I said, I can't show the entire process of the animation because my computer will die, but I just screen recorded a quick segment of the keyframes so you can see what they kind of looked like. And if y'all are interested in seeing the actual animation process, I will definitely find a way for my next video because I think I have like 2 other animations for the rest of the quarter to deal with, so I have plenty of opportunities to figure that out. But with all that out of the way, here is my final animation. Okay, it is now officially the end of midterms. I have finished absolutely everything. Well, that's a lie. I mean, there's some like small exercises, in-class exercises that I didn't do because I got really tired. It's been a long week for me, okay? Midterms is rough, oh my gosh. But anyway, the classmates liked it, my professor liked it, I thought I did pretty good. It's not like quite Coachella level of animation, but I mean, I got it done before the deadline, so that's as good as we're gonna get on this channel, okay? So yeah, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my weekend and get some sleep, and I will see you guys later. So bye guys.